Let's begin with the big picture. What is marriage? Genesis 2 and 3. We can go ahead and flip to the beginning of our Bibles. This is the foundation of family and relationships. God set forth the family at the very beginning. And I'm just going to list a few observations from our text. In Genesis, we see that God created man first. He created man from the dust. He breathed life into his nostrils, his mouth. God created man first. And Paul argues that from God creating man first, that man has first in the order. This is from 1 Timothy 2:13. Secondly, God did not think it was good for man to be alone. Genesis 2:18. God looks and he says, it's not good for man to be alone. Men, we're not islands. God didn't declare creation the day 6 good until the woman was created. We're not good alone. We need help. It doesn't say the wife needs help. It doesn't say the woman needs help. We needed help. Third, God made both man and woman in his image. We can see this in Genesis 1:27. There's equality in dignity. We are both made in the image of God, male and female. There is no distinction in dignity. There is no distinction in our human nature. There is no greater dignity between the man and the woman. There's only distinction in role. Fourth, God made woman from man. He took out the rib of Adam and formed woman. First, this shows us that there's a specific union between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. There's a unique, intimate relationship between a husband and a wife. Adam's follow-up from this happening was that she is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. There's a union that is very unique. Secondly, it signifies that there's a difference in responsibilities and roles. We can see Paul making this conclusion from 1 Corinthians 11 and 8. So at the very beginning, creation, both man and woman, both husband and wife, they were equal in dignity. They are sacred beings, both together. And even before, especially we need to see, before the fall, Adam was set up to be the leader of the home, and Eve was set up to be the submissive wife. So what happened? Genesis 3, sin creeps in, Satan tempts Eve, and it's interesting, he goes to the woman. This is already undermining God's design. He goes to the woman first, attempting already to undermine the design. And she takes the apple. She hands it to her husband who's there watching. He's supposed to be guarding her. He's supposed to be protecting her, but instead he lets her do it to see what happens. And then God gives this curse in response to the fall. I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing, and pain you shall bring forth children. To Eve, he says, your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Part of the curse is destroying that proper order and design that God gave to marriage. Your desire shall be for your husband. Now, if you want to know what the word desire means, it's actually a very unique word. Just flip over to chapter 4, verse 7. God tells Cain, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you. Desire isn't a love desire. A desire is a conquering desire. This is an evil desire. This is not a good desire. Here, the curse is that the tendency of women, the sinful tendency of women is to overthrow their husband, to conquer them, to rule over them. Man's sinful tendency is to rule over the wife. Now, this isn't godly leadership. There's godly leadership that leads. This is iron-fisted rule. Actually, there's two real tendencies, sinful tendencies in men. One is to try to claim leadership with unnecessary force, with abuse. And the second one is to, just quit trying, to let the woman lead, and to give up ruling altogether. We're called to follow the faithful pattern of God. God has set up the man to lead the home, to love his wife as Christ has loved the church. We need to seek to renew this relationship in our fallen world. It means we fight against our sinful tendency. It means we try to put God's order into practice within our own families.